Parents, we are going to have a chitty chat today. Okay. We're going to talk about, well, I don't know if you know this or not, but October is the month of bullying awareness and prevention. And a couple of weeks ago, hey, Destiny, a couple of weeks ago, we had Stephanie Hockenhall with Love Misunderstood Institute come on and talk to us about the signs of bullying, some of the prevention of bullying, and also her passion for teaching about bullying awareness and prevention. So I just I just want to talk to you all. I want to talk to you all as parents who are busy, who are intentional, you're entrepreneurs, you're high achieving. Hey, Chester, what's up? Good morning. I want to talk to you, those who are educators, maybe you're entrepreneurs, you're like go getters, but you know that you have to prioritize a relationship with your child. If we think about all the things that children get into, especially as they get older into teen and young adult years, it really makes a difference having a healthy connection and conversation and relationship and bond with your child. So, if you have a kid, throw their age in the chat. I want to make sure that this live is sharing information, but also customized to the live viewers. So, my son is 3. So, a lot of my examples are going to come from my son or students that I've worked with. But I want you to really apply this to your child, to the child that you're helping to raise, to the child that you love, to the children that you love. All right, we got teenager, 18, 2, beautiful. We have toddlers, 12. We have middle school. Okay, so we have a range. So as I speak today, and feel free to share this live or tag someone, I want you to be thinking about your child or the children who you support. Okay, because this question came to me when I really had to think about, is my way of discipline and parenting considered bullying? Am I disciplining and parenting from a place of you better listen to me, I'm bigger than you, I'm your mama, you better respect me? Is that where I'm coming from? And so I want to read the definition of bullying, because you might say, no, that's not me. Absolutely not. But before I read the definition of bullying, I want to really sink my teeth into this quickly, and talk about what happens if we don't evaluate the ways that we discipline and the ways that we build relationship and teach our children about their value, their worth, and relationship with us. So this statistic is alarming, but we're going to unpack it. October is also Suicide Prevention Month. And whether you know it or not, suicide is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. It's especially high for youth, so those who are under 21. And I really believe that as parents, we have an opportunity to advocate for our children on behalf of our children before they even have the language or have the words. We, through healthy relationships, through accepting, loving them, treating them with respect, showing them their worth and their value in relationship with us, can teach them how to value themselves in the world. And so a bully, the word bully, bully, can be categorized as 2 parts of speech. All right, y'all know I love reading and English and language arts, so I'm just going to give you a little mini lesson, then we'll jump into it. When you talk about parts of speech, it's important to know that a bully can be a person, right? Or a bully can be a behavior. Bullying, it could be a verb, something that you do. So don't leave this live and say, she called me a bully. I ain't no bully. Think about, are you behaving? Is your action considered bullying? And this is something I have to be reflective of as well, even raising a 3-year-old. You know this as a toddler, as a middle school parent, with high school students, when they are, look, big or bigger, tall, taller, have the language, to have a conversation with us as parents. So a bully as a noun is a person who habitually. That means this is a habit. This is a cycle. This is what they are known for as a pattern. Seeks to harm or intimidate those who they perceive as vulnerable. A bully is a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those who they perceive as vulnerable. Vulnerable meaning weak or inferior or less than or smaller than. And intimidate mean, look, I'm gonna give y'all the formal definition of intimidate. I love definitions. It means to frighten or overawe, startle, shock, especially in order to make them to um, do something or do what one wants. Okay. So I'm breaking this down, I'm taking it slow because as we reflect on our parenting, we can identify, are we bullying our children rather than showing the love, care of intentional discipline? And this is no easy task, right? But this is something I'm going to give you actually 3 steps to consider in the way that you build a healthy relationship with your child. So this is for you, busy parent. This is for you, parent of a toddler, parent of a preschooler, parent of elementary, middle school, high school, and sometimes young adult parents as well. We're going to think about the ways that we build relationship with our child. The second definition of bully is a verb. Okay, it's an action word, something that you do. So to bully means seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable. Now let's look up the word coerce before we jump all the way in. Because coerce is to persuade an unwilling person to do something by using force or threats. To obtain by using force or threats. Okay, if we think about the ways that we have discipline, been disciplined, seen discipline, it could fit under this category. Am I being right? Am I being honest? Can you just type a yes in the chat? Like if you're with me, I'm not saying that you're doing this. I'm saying that if we think about it, yeah, sometimes it is intimidation and threat because there's a perception of vulnerability and it's by force. Like, so we want to think about 3 ways, all right? 3 ways that we can do things differently. And I believe that this will build healthy relationships because I read that suicide statistic because I wanted you all to know that there is a way to infuse life into your child. And you can do this through relationship. Like your role as a parent is number 1. It's so, so important. And if your child can run to you as opposed to substances or peers or harmful behavior, you are preventing the loss of life. The loss of life inside, the loss of life mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I really believe that parents, you have the power to do so. So a healthy relationship with your child means that they're able to come to you. They're able to trust you. They're able to approach you, share with you, and really confide in you so that you can help guide them. Because I know that you want your children to be successful, right? And that's what we're talking about this Saturday at my Parent Plus Summit is how do we thrive as parents? How do we feel all of the joy of flourishing and prospering and growing and developing and enjoying the journey through parenthood? Because it's a long stint, okay? Parenthood is a long time. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? So I want us to think about how do we enjoy this and how do we create a process where parenting is something we can thrive in. We have the energy we need. We have the tools and the resources we need. And we also have the confidence that we need to parent our children towards success, not just in school, but in life. So I'm going to give you point number 1. I believe all things start with a plan. You have to start with a plan. So when you think about your children, you can think about a challenge and feel free to throw it in the chat. What's the challenge that you have with your children or your child? If you think about that challenge, now the question is, how can I plan for the challenge? I'm going to take my 3-year-old as an example. my 3-year-old, my baby boy, Josiah, is still potty training. And so I know that it's not something that I can force. He has to be developmentally ready. He has to be socially ready. He has to have something in himself that says, this is what I'm going to do. And so we've done some different methods and incentives to prepare him for, using the restroom on his own, knowing when to go, and all the things. What I find is that I have to keep a positive attitude about this. This is a huge milestone. A huge, huge milestone. I had a friend who gave me a perspective. She's like, I love potty training time. Like, because this is like the time when they are going from being a baby to being a big boy or big girl. And in her perspective just helped me know that I just need a plan. So we set alarms, okay? Um, not like you might be thinking, not like every 30 minutes, but when I know I'm about to take him to the restroom, to give him a little bit of a warning reminder, is, all right, Josiah, we're going to use the bathroom in 3 minutes. And I set an alarm so he knows this is not me interrupting something that you are enjoying and loving. This is just the process. This is what we do. And so now Josiah, yesterday, when I was like, okay, we're about to go to the restroom, he was like, could you set an alarm? So now he knows that the alarm is a signal. This is not just something mom is making me do, but this is something that is necessary. This is something that is good. And so when the alarm went off, there was still some reluctance, but that's our system. And so we went to the restroom. Also, giving options is a way to have a plan. If you know in the morning, it's a struggle to get your little one or your big one up and ready for the day. It can be options. You can get up early and you can get, breakfast, and I can drive you to school and XYZ. So some options. Or, you can sleep in, and if I have to get you up, it's going to be a banana. Okay, that's still a great breakfast. And you're going to ride the bus. Whatever the options are. I don't know for your family what the options may be, but there may be a situation or a circumstance where it's like, let me have a plan for conflict or disagreement or a difference of opinion. Like, let me just plan that the person that I'm parenting is a whole, complete human with their own ideas and ways of doing things. And let me have a plan so that I don't have to force or threaten, right? So I don't have to coerce or bully, but I can simply say, oh, it's after 7. So you're going to ride the bus today. And here's your banana, here's your apple. Like, a consequence is not a threat. And sometimes we throw things out as a threat. If you don't get up right now, I'm going to insert threat. But we could just say what the consequence is. It's a natural consequence, right? It's a natural consequence. Yesterday, we went for a walk. I told my son, put on your shoes. All right, mommy's headed out the door. Of course, I'm not leaving out the door without him. But it wasn't a threat, I'm leaving. It was a reminder. And the consequence of you not getting your shoes on is I have to get your shoes on and we have less time outside. And it was incentive. And so there is a way to be able to incentivize. Yes, unapologetically, as a parent, I've learned that discipline is an individual choice, but to incentivize them may appear like force. Oh, yes, that's good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. To incentivize may appear like force. Yeah, like you're manipulating or I'm trying to coerce you to do something. And so, really, just pausing to have a plan and making time. Sometimes the plan is planning for double time, especially if it's a young child, and I'm counting young as like middle school. When it comes to timing and pacing, sometimes high school, we just might have to plan for more time. I had a friend whose daughter was struggling to get up early. And so part of the plan was, okay, lay out your clothes, your bag, and your things the night before. And I'm going to call your name twice. So the first time, it's a gentle nudge. The second time, I have to get you, I have to help you get up. You didn't get up with the first time. Sometimes even, okay, this is for the getting up. Like, soft music, a little pat of the back, or good morning, I'm going to come back in 3 minutes and it's time to get up. Okay, so that's not a threat. That's not forced. That's just what will happen. That's the plan. And sharing the plan with your children can be effective as well, because it gives them some sense of security that they know what to expect and that you're going to follow through. When we force and threaten and incentivize, usually it's coming from an on the spot, like a reactive perspective. And oftentimes we have a moment to say, no, I'm really not going to do that. Or I don't know why I said that, but if it's already left our lips, right, then it really creates this sense of not following through with your word or not really meaning what you say. And all of that starts to chip away at trust, which we talked about. Healthy relationships are the goal, right? Healthy relationships are the goal. So, point number one is to start with a plan. So, we're not resorting to default, which is to feel like I have to threaten, I have to intimidate, I have to say, I'm the parent, hear me roar. And there should definitely be the mutual respect and the understanding of your role as parent. But we want to parent from a place of, I love you, I want what's best for you, and I'm intentionally setting up systems so that you are disciplined, right? So that you are disciplined, And I'm going to write down what discipline means. Good morning, Mocha. Welcome to the live. All right. My home is a safe place for my kids to fail and learn. Yes. 14-year-old son struggles with schedules. 12-year-old is way ahead of the learning curve. Excellent. Yes. Schedules. So writing things down, making things visual, and then giving the natural consequence. When we're late to school, I know it starts your day off. You might come in missing a little bit of information. You may not get to have that time to talk with your friends at school. Your teacher may have had something special laid out for you. So just giving that natural consequence with schedules, that is executive functioning skills. And we'll talk about that on the live. But those things are so important for us to build in the loving way to help our children grow and learn toward that. Mocha, we're talking about really making sure that we're not the bully in our child's life. I shared the statistic of one of the leading causes of death in the US, especially with youth, is suicide. And so this month being Suicide Prevention Month and Bullying Prevention and Awareness Month, I really think it's a conversation that we need to have. And I know we'll also continue in our summit on Saturday. If you have not registered for the summit, just slide into my DM with summit or drop a comment summit, and I'll make sure that you get the link to join us. So discipline, remember I said noun and verb, but discipline as a noun is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior. I don't like this in using punishment to correct. We're not using punishment. We're just giving the consequences. Discipline also means to train, to obey rules or code of conduct, or to correct. And I believe that a form of discipline is correction and love. All right, you have a great day. Thanks for joining the live. And come back and listen to the rest if you have a moment today. So the second point I want to share with you all is reflective parenting. It's so, so important. Reflective parenting. What does that mean? That means that I am not parenting on autopilot, because autopilot means I'm just doing what I need to do to survive. Like I'm just going through the motions and not really giving any thought. And something that I have spoken with many parents about is the need to have more energy, and they want to have more quality time, and they want to, do things differently. And it really takes a level of taking yourself off of autopilot and being reflective. And then with the reflection, doing something new or doing something different or doing something more. So journaling could be a way that you are reflective parenting. Being a community like Parent Plus, okay? If you're interested, let me know. Could be a way of reflective parenting. Taking notes on lives or when you hear information. I know social media is not our go to for parent information, but hopefully with me in the space, it is one of the places that you come to get information on parenting effectively, school parenting, on success in your child's life, whether it be in school or otherwise. And another way that we can reflectively parent is by reading books. Yes, I'm squashing this. There's no book for parenting. There are several. There are a lot actually. There are really a lot of books on parenting. And so if we would pause and take a moment to be reflective, we can think about what aspect of parenting do I need more information on. What's exciting, Mocha was on the call last night. We had a quick chat about our summit. Everyone on that call has written a book. So there are books on parenting. You just may need a moment to reflect and get clear about which book do you need, or what information do you need, or what resources do you need. So a book that I'm reading, which one of our speakers recommended, Elise Jones from Parenting for the Culture, she talks about intentional discipline, and she has recommended The Whole Child, The Whole Brain Child, The Whole Brain Child by Daniel Siegel. And this is a New York Times bestseller. So what that means is a lot of people have read it and given their input on the impact. And Dr. Harvey, who has a lot of resources for especially early childhood. Harvey Karp has a lot of resources for early childhood parents. He says it's simple and smart and effective solutions to your child's struggles. 12 revolutionary strategies to nurture your child's developing mind. This is like a good book, right? This is a book where I can read through, and as I'm reading, I'm like, oh, this is a tip. This is a strategy. This is a tool. And so we don't have to parent on autopilot. There is space for us to be reflective in our parenting and to truly take stock, take note of what our children need, what our child needs, or what our children need. And one more thing I'll add to reflective parenting is family meetings. Family meetings once a week, once bi-weekly if you can. The beauty of a family meeting is going to give you the opportunity to share with your family, right? In one space, you get to share, but also creating a safe space, a safe space where your children can share with you as well. So this relationship that you are building, you're cultivating with your child is one where it's not one-sided. If you were a child and ever felt like, man, I never get to speak. Mom never listens to me. Man, I didn't even get, that's not even what happened. That's not what I meant to. Like you have all of this. If I think back to being a child, not as much with my parents because they let me speak, but sometimes in school situations or with other adults, it was like, I have something more I need to say. And because my parents created space for me to say it, I felt like children and adults can have conversations. And I brought that into my parenting where even my 3-year-old is able to express himself. Okay. He's picked up this, y'all, it hurt my heart. I'm not going to lie. He's picked up this, and I knew it would happen because it's developmentally appropriate that you express yourself. So what's in your mind comes out of your mouth. We're getting out the car on Friday, and he was like, I don't like you. My 3-year-old told me he didn't like me. But I didn't sit in it, right? I was like, what is he talking about? So I engage in conversation. I say, Josiah, what happened? What did mommy do? What do you mean that? I forgot exactly what I said, but I asked for more information. And essentially he was upset because he was ready to go to the pumpkin patch that we were supposed to go to on Sunday, but it was Friday. So we had a conversation. Well, that hurts my feelings. Is it you don't like me, or did something happen? Did I do something? I don't like when you're mean. Okay, well, how was mommy mean? So we were able to, what we call, unpack and get to the root of what's really appropriate for a 3-year-old to say, I'm upset with the decision that I feel like you made. And so I don't want to talk to you. Like, we're not good right now. How many of us, raise your hand, say me, if you felt like that as a parent, you've been like, I really don't like this child right now. Like we have the self-awareness to process through that and hopefully not let it come out of our mouths. But it's a very real and it's an okay feeling, right? We're not going to punish or penalize feelings or thoughts, but we're going to teach our children how to express themselves. And guess who it starts with? It starts with me. I was feeling a way about potty training, and I was about to kick off into a different gear in parenting, and I had to be reflective of, oh, it's because it requires more patience. It's not happening as soon as I thought. What will people think? He's 3. He can speak in paragraphs, but he's not potty trained. So I had to go through a process of really making sure that I was reflective and that I had the information and that I was giving myself grace so that I could extend the grace to my child. And how beautiful it feels if you have ever received grace from an authority figure, from a mentor, from someone in a position that is above yours. To receive grace feels amazing. And so I want to give myself that so I'm reminded of how it feels. And I want to extend that to my child as well. So reflective parenting. And the third point and final point that I'll make, and y'all gonna get more, I'm giving you a lot. You're gonna get even more on Saturday at the summit. I keep saying that because if your schedule is open on Saturday and you have been praying for a way to build a better relationship with your child, if you have been praying for a way to get more energy in this thing called parenting, because your child is only 12 and they still gonna be around, right? And you want to love on them in the best way because they're 18 and they're almost out the door, but you want them when they're transitioning to still consider you a place of safety and security and trust and consider you home base. If your child is little itty bitty, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you want to thrive in parenting because you know that it does not have to feel this way, that you're feeling like I'm operating on autopilot. I'm only using the tools in my toolkit and I'm running out of tools. Saturday at the summit, you need to come get the information so you can get the resources that ensure that you feel successful, you feel confident in building a healthy relationship with your child. So point number 3 is intentional discipline. Intentional discipline. And I have an expert at intentional discipline who will be speaking on Saturday, but I'm going to give you all just a little sprinkle of what I have learned about intentional discipline. Consider your child's love language, right? We got words of affirmation, gifts, we have quality time, we have, did I say words of affirmation? I probably did because that's my love language. We have acts of service. And then which one did I miss? I should always go in order. Quality time, gift giving, acts of service, words of affirmation, and physical touch. So we have 5 love languages. If you think about the way that you receive love, right? Like someone says something to you and you're like, okay, cool. But they take a weight off your shoulder by providing a start, by doing something for you so you don't have to do it. And you feel like, ooh, warm and fuzzies. That's a good indicator of your love language. All right. I'm gonna wait for us to catch up on it. That's a good indicator of your love language. If you're like, this is what just makes me feel loved and accepted. If maybe you're like, man, a really good hug from a person that I am in relationship with, whether it be a peer, a sibling, a spouse, a loved one, that makes you feel loved. Now I want you to consider your child's love language and the way that you interact with them, the way that you build relationship with them, the way that you pour into them. I have heard people say it don't take all that in terms of giving their child a hug or a kiss or a pat on the shoulder. But what if that's exactly what your child needs to feel connected to you, to form and build a strong, healthy relationship so that when they are not feeling loved or accepted or worthy or valued, they know that they can come to you, receive that love and attention, and have a conversation about their feelings. What I love about building a healthy relationship is that the foundation is trust and safety. Like, I'm safe here and I can trust you. And that allows for open conversations, open dialogue. How many youth, how many young people, how many children, how many kids, how many students are making decisions because they feel like they have nowhere to process, nowhere to talk things out. They have no safe, trusted adult who can guide them. And that might not be true, but that might be how they feel. And many of the poor decisions that children make, that young people make, that even adults make, they make them because they're unable to communicate with someone to get to a better decision. I'm making this decision because blah, blah. It's what I feel, right? I don't have the process or the relationship in order to do that. Or I said earlier, like, I really want you to build this relationship so strong, so healthy, with such a firm foundation that your children run to you before they run to you, not even before, instead of running to a system or running to a substance or running to sex or drugs or running to their peers or others who are struggling before they run to inappropriate or poor choices or poor options. I want them to run to you. I want you to be the place. And that starts with really parenting, not in a position of threatening and coercing and forcing and intimidating, but of love and building relationship of trust and safety and security. So consider love languages, right? Consider taking a moment and pausing. Again, Elise with Parenting for the Culture has a group coaching program and individual coaching where you really learn to lead into those things, and it has helped me invest in myself as a parent. Like, just pause. Everyone who knows me knows that I have a nanny, I have a sitter, I have a backup to that sitter. I have about 3 people who I know can help me care for and take care of my child when I want a pause, need a pause, insert a pause, plan for a pause. I plan for the pause before the pause is necessarily needed. I say never waste a sitter, right? Make sure that you have alone time. Make sure that you have time to reflect and to pause to get what you need first as a parent so that you can give your children what they need. When we are thinking about discipline, and now that we have the framework, we have the understanding of what bullying is, and we're not doing it that way, right? We're being intentional, we're being reflective, we're starting with a plan. I want you to be asking yourself when you are wanting to react or when you're wanting to respond, I want you to ask yourself, as your child's first teacher and your child's best teacher, right? Because you know them best. What does this teach my child about me? Woo! What does this action, what does this thing I'm about to do or this thing I'm about to say teach my child about me? What does it teach them about them? We think about value, we think about worth, and we think about confidence, think about trust, and we think about choices and development. What does this teach my child about them? And then I want you to ask this question, and this will lock it in. What does, I'm typing it out, this teach my child about us, about our relationship? If we could pause and ask that question, I really believe it's going to transform the ways that we respond and plan and reflect about parenting. I believe it's going to transform the way we feel as a parent. I believe it is a drop in our bucket, right? Uh, of ways to thrive in parenting. I am parenting from a place of starting with a plan, reflecting on my actions, my role, myself, and intentionally disciplining, not haphazardly, not on autopilot, not because I'm upset, but really responding to the needs of my child and knowing that I want to build relationship with them. So I'm so excited. We have 5 more days. That's it. 5 more days till the summit. And if you are wanting to join, just comment summit or DM for a link because I would love to see you. This is a part of what we're going to be talking about. But my true desire is that you thrive in parenting, that you have the information, the skills, and the knowledge to thrive as a parent, to feel like your best self with the most energy, with the clearest perspective, to be truly and completely who God created you to be. Because our parents, our children, our families matter. All three. Our parents, our children, our families matter. And healthy, whole relationships with one another allows us to all thrive and grow and develop. Cassandra, I am here to support you, okay? And specifically help you access resources that your child needs to be successful in school and in life. So if and when you need to get very clear on accessing resources, I'm available. I'm available. Have a Parent Plus community. They get lots of replays. They get lots of resources. They get lots of community. And so I would love for you to join that if you're interested. Just text community or send the text community, and I will definitely get you what you need. Have a great and marvelous week. I can't believe it's Monday. It's Monday. Let's have a joy-filled week. Let's have a fabulous and fantastic week. And please share this with a parent who you know just needs the reminder that you can parent and discipline from a place of intentionality and from a place of your cup being full, not empty, right? And you guiding and leading and not on autopilot. You can thrive in parenting. You can thrive in parenting. You will thrive in parenting. Have a great day.